Next up is Kimberly Lyons. She's the author of Abracadabra and Saline, as well as numerous chapbooks. And her most recent publication is Phototherapy, which you can copies of in the other room. Co-published it with Portable Press at Milton Labs under the Chamber's Great Press. Kim lives in Brooklyn, where she works as a psychiatric social worker. I was not thinking of Kim while I was doing my dishes this morning, so don't ask anything as lovely to say. But I'm very excited to hear it's been a couple of years since she's been up to Chile, and he's been happy times.
Very nice to be here and great to read with Jeff and Jesse with the human news from the world and for all these wonderful new books, hopeful crystallizations, even if words are our headaches, or maybe because words are our headaches. Wonderful to see these books. I dragged up on the phone raw my now soggy handful of new poems, so I'm going to lay those on you, and then maybe we can explore poems from phototherapy. This is a poem from a new little magazine, Satellite Telephone, and our own poet, Dorothea Lasky is in here also. Fantastic poem. So I was happy to share this publication with her. This poem is titled Rain. It is good to feel every motion as a dry series of codes, to be a flag for nothingness in a purple jacket with black socks that keep falling down, and an arm that lifts, falls, brings to, and puts back. Good to walk in leaves, trashed coffee cups, and shit. Good to be down there. See between the wet grit of the drain, a whirlpool of water and grit, circling a provisional position in its universe. Good to carry a cell of multicolored substance, chloroplasts, and mitochondria stream through the street. To apply for surcease from something invisible, as though a picture forms at its own discretion in the so-called mind, a nebula of impulses that holds between neural pincers a cloudy, dissimulated, polarized brush of gestures, and that is good. And our motions are the generator of traces in the wake of a body that collects like wet lace, like leaves do, caught as they are between the bars. And here's some poems from the Poetry Project for the House Organ, the Recluse. Ever heard of it? Never have. Never see it anywhere. Contretemps. Contretemps is French for difficulty or setback. Countertime, as the light that coats the buildings rushes ahead of the darker gray coming over the East River, modulates in the movement and throws green shadows on the chair and on the desk and on my hand. And difficulty might just be that same kind of everyday sidewalk that you look at without seeing it until a black pair of shoes or a sparkling initial pin is seen there, as everyday experience is differentiated, set in marcasite when you learn the French word for it, and cement is the color of thinking, and everything that spatters it is the residue of action and particles of thought's crud that layered air agitates, thunderous and grand, flattened and ambiguous, as seen from a sixth-floor hospital office window, paused at briefly so to make a respite in contretemps, and now fixated by the density and shift of what accrues, one thinks ecru, which color clouds might resemble in the sense of a bruise, but are more the color of slate, inside the finality as it draws near, those approach. Passage. How could a moment be so globular, silvery, and thick as mercury as it slides down the string? A locket changes definition, a refractory orb. Its small door opens, and a second elongates, encases us in its torqued frame. Convex lens of a minute, you could cry within its metallic walls, gesticulate a protest with your whole body, and it will move with you, a zippered suit, saline bag, the zeppelin, a liquidless cell. I'll wait here in the sun, at this window looking out, along with the instant, a word for captivity, to become the shape of its linkage, however mutated is my passage. Ampule. I notice that you don't reply, have my longing patience to squander. As one in the box, still with the most queries to answer. Once the rope is extended, an endless wave of multiple strings that shimmer in perpetuity, offer an illusory plane, flings transparent drops ahead into the void, seems materially singular, a wall, allowed to diminish, to float away from a core the particles fall. Structure, transmuted, dimensionless, reconstituted, engulfs the entity, remolds the composition's elements as intended. Is my fear that with nothing to replenish itself, constituting motion, nothing becomes it in dialogic exchange of replacement and erosion, which admittedly is how what is mutated in a mutual conception. That process thickens the wave, makes it something else, or at least more graphic, like an animal. I thought I saw a dragon, a huge, writhing, green, oceanic ampule. I'm so happy with this book, and I couldn't ask for a more wonderful experience than to work with Michael Carr. He's really a gifted and kind and thoughtful editor. And just the guy I needed to work with. Thank you so much. And Brenda was wonderful, and thank you to Dorothy for hearing his poem so many years ago at the end of the series. Okay. St. Felix Street. It's funny, so many of these poems seem really to come out of a autumnal consciousness. It makes it interesting to go back into them. St. Felix Street for Tamar Grimm. Something itchy about vines, rid of their leaves like hairs, invisibly cling to bricks, matted tributaries. Renata at the opera, a man says, had bent over coffee. Later, in this metallic valley, fumes have arranged to meet for a cinematographic witches' Sabbath, write Breton and Suppot. I feel like I haven't looked at anything for a long time. Today, a feeling for the inwardness of everything pulls thoughts out of the spidery nexus, broken up by orange plastic chairs turned over on the cement. Leaves float in a cup full of water and dirt. On St. Felix Street, the antique shadows make plum-colored velvet, wither as these berries fallen off the vine. Convergence comes at the Sabbath, on Tuesdays, in the rain, on a bicycle, after the dentist, and before the Iron Age. Mr. de la Rey. It's so ridiculous to write of flowers in September when school is on, like a sticky spider's web, white corridors in some corner.